Hey guys, I am back from the movies. I decided to do a double feature tonight. I went to see Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and I went to see the 2025 reboot of Silent Night, Deadly Night. Wow. Considering this is the first time I've ever done this, done a double feature, go to the movies, see two movies in one day, and they have to be horror films. And I'm not even a big horror fan. I am, however, a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, of course. I do love the game franchise. And I've been kind of interested about Silent Night, Deadly Night since I've seen a lot of the reviews from the Cinema Snob. So I figured, might as well see what that is. I'm going to start first, of course, with Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I really think it's really good. It's really faithful to the game, the second game. It pretty much has the character, the marionette, is possessed by this little girl that died at a pizzeria from the original pizzeria before it became a franchise. And I really thought, there was a lot of good acting from Matthew Lillard, and also Skeet Ulrich was in this movie, and so was Wayne Knight was in that movie as well. Fun fact, Skeet Ulrich, Matthew Lillard, and Wayne Knight were at the GalaxyCon I was last Saturday. And if I had known all of that, I would have wouldn't mind just shaking hands with one of them, But the fun part is, I think, the toy animatronics talk, and Matt Pat makes another cameo appearance as Toy Bonnie in this. And I was actually shocked. It's like he got a small role in the first one, and now he's providing the voice of one of the animatronics, which I thought was pretty cool. Granted, I wish they had people like Markiplier in there and other, YouTubers I know offhand, just to have a cameo in it. But I guess you just can't really have, everybody that has played Five Nights at Freddy's and did a Twitch stream on it, I guess. Because I'm pretty sure everybody and their grandma has done it, so. But Matt Pat was the one that put FNAF into the popularity that it is. So it was nice to see him in that movie. I really thought the actors, Josh Hutcherson, of course, I honestly thought Matthew Lillard was awesome. Although he only appears in the dream sequence since he died in the first film. And it leads up into the third movie, which will be based on the third game. So it's going to be interesting. And I'm pretty sure I want to see how FNAF 4 is going to work, because we see Michael Afton in this as well. And there's Mike Schmidt and there's Michael Afton in this movie. Michael Afton is the security guard for the old FNAF restaurant. And what's really kind of weird is he let this paranormal TV team go inside and just let them go around, only to meet their dooms. And I really like the scene where Mike is in the office, just like in the video game, where he had to put on the mask to fool the animatronics, and just like in the game, it didn't fool Foxy. Of course not, because you would know that if you played the game. And I really think there's a lot. I think this movie's pretty good. I think, I think it's worth going seeing. And I like how Blumhouse, they're good at making, decent scares without going into intense gore or, getting into R-rated territory. Which, that's something I like, because sometimes you can make a really good horror film that's rated PG or PG-13, because it's about the cycle. It's kind of like an Alfred Hitchcock kind of thing, So, a recommendation for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Now I'm going to talk about Silent Night, Deadly Night. Now, this is a reboot of the original 1984 original one. The one that caused so much controversy. They pulled it out of theaters and then re-released it. And, everyone and their parents was upset because, they had a killer Santa Claus in it. Well, this one takes a different approach from the original 1984 film. And I think they added a little bit of a supernatural being. Whereas Billy, his parents were killed by this random Santa Claus, this mugger and robber in the original 84. In this film, his parents are killed by this guy who then gets shot, and then he starts to die and takes his soul into Billy, and he starts talking to Billy in his head, kind of making, at first you think that, is he schizophrenic or something, or have is he hearing voices or something like that? Are we doing kind of like an American Psycho kind of movie? But then as you go on, we kind of learn that, Billy's actually the good guy. Despite the fact he's a serial killer. I mean, wrap your head around that. Wrap your head around that. The thing is the guy killed his parents, is talking to him and tells him to kill them because they are evil. Because the guy apparently can sense evil. And he wants Billy to kill them every single day before Christmas. Otherwise, somebody else will die randomly. A random person will die. And it's kind of weird. But I think the most entertaining part of the movie, I thought, was when Billy went into this Christmas party filled with, I can't really say this on YouTube or pretty much on social media, period. Let's just say they were a group of specific people that's a big no-no on the internet. They originated from Germany, let's just say. We'll just leave it at that. And, and he pretty much mows them all down. And, they kind of keep in, some of the kills from the original. They have one person getting sliced in the head with an axe. They had the scene where a woman gets impaled by antlers, and that was pretty much like a nod. And of course, we cannot have a Silent Night, Deadly Night reboot without the mentioning of one specific phrase. Garbage Day. Yes, they do say Garbage Day in it, but not it was pretty much a nod to the second one because that phrase became a famous internet meme. I thought Silent Night, Deadly Night was kind of an interesting movie. Probably the only entertaining thing was watching him go against this, let's just say, evil group. It was kind of a satisfying moment. But other than that, I thought the movie was just kind of interesting. It had more of a supernatural feeling. And from what I understand, it's from the producers of Terrifier 2 and 3. So, honestly, I don't really necessarily think it was a terrible movie or a bad movie. It does has its moments, and it's just, I consider it more of an interesting take on the Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise. I mean, it's a lot better than Part 3, Part 4, and Part 5, which make no sense, and it has nothing to do with the original. And Part 2 was just basically Part 1 with added footage. So, other than that, the only disappointing thing is I wish they put, the original actor who played Billy in the original film, or have Eric Freeman from Part 2 in it, as a cameo. That would have been good. Even if they were in there for, 5 seconds. That would have been enough. That would be, worth, the price of admission, Especially for Silent Night, Deadly Night fans. All in all, if you're into that kind of stuff, if you're into the blood and guts and stuff like that, this is a movie for you. But, it's not for the squeamish. And I honestly think it might be a little bit gore. It wasn't as gory as I thought it was. But, there was some intense scenes. But, other than that, a modest recommendation for Silent Night, Deadly Night. So, honestly, I think it's an interesting take on the original story. Well, I think that'll be it for me for seeing movies in 2025. I hope we have some good ones next year. I've heard Mortal Kombat 2's coming out next year. I know Avengers Doomsday is coming out way late in the year, in December, unless they get hit with another delay, but it better be worth it. And I heard Street Fighter's coming back. I hope, the next person that does Street Fighter does it a lot better than the campy but fun 1994 and the really crappy 2008 one. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping Street Fighter will be decent. It'll be kind of interesting because both Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat are both making movies in 2026, or releasing them anyway. Well, y'all have a good night and Merry Christmas.